I shouldn't be alive to write this. Not after Sector L, not after what I heard from the static. But the logs are incomplete, and I know because I was the one assigned to clear the remaining signals. They told me the station was decommissioned, off-grid, and forgotten. But something in there remembered me. Something still does. If you're reading this, it means file 008 wasn't sealed. Either someone ignored the protocol, or something opened it from the inside. I was a signal technician, nothing glamorous, mostly cleanup work, corrupted logs, dead satellites, Cold War relics that still pinged out weak cries into the void. But Sector L wasn't on any official list, just a passing mention in a dry report, requesting one-time access to audio logging relay L. It wasn't even supposed to have power. Still, someone with clearance far above mine signed the approval. So I went. I arrived just after 11 p.m. The building was a brutalist relic. Concrete ribs, rust-streaked vents, warning signs half erased by time and languages I couldn't place. No guard, no lights outside. The door wasn't locked. That should have been the first red flag. Inside, it was colder than it should have been. No power, but the air was sharp. The lights flickered in sequence, one after another, guiding me like breadcrumbs. I told myself it was just residual programming, the kind of thing automated systems do after decades on backup power. The air smelled like burnt plastic and cold metal, that distinct scent of old machinery breathing for the first time in years. The command room was intact, dusty but untouched. Desks, cables, monitors, all black but humming softly, like they were waiting. On one screen, a blinking prompt had already been typed. Identify. I paused. Had someone been here before me? Or was the system just waiting for input all this time? I typed, Technician 42, clearance A3, requesting system status. No reply. I checked the system logs. Most had been wiped, except one. A timestamp repeated across multiple subdirectories. 033344. Begin local overlap. That time showed up in strange places. Looped logs, duplicate entries. A few lines had names next to them. Mine wasn't there, not yet. Past the server racks, I found a door labeled Listening Room. Inside, rows of old reel-to-reel machines lined the walls. Most were still, but one was spinning. It was unplugged. A small red light pulsed above it, one flash every 3 seconds. Morse code. I recorded it just in case. As I approached, the sound shifted. Not white noise, a voice, a whisper. It stretched my name out syllable by syllable, degraded like it had been copied over 100 times. I turned to leave, but the hallway had changed. Where there had been a straight corridor, now it bent sharply to the left. 3 doors stood where I was sure there had been none, each marked L1, L2, and the last one scratched out entirely. I chose L1. Inside, a terminal blinked to life. It read, Error, personal index not found. Then words typed themselves onto the screen. Try again. Say it this time. I didn't speak, but I thought it. My name. And the terminal replied, Now we see you. The ceiling dropped slightly. I swear it did. A pressure entered the room. I panicked and turned back into the hallway. But it was no longer a hallway. It spiraled into a perfect circle. No doors, no end. In the center, the same reel-to-reel machine spun louder now. Again, it said my name. This time, it didn't sound old. It sounded like I had just said it aloud. I reached for my comms device. No signal. Just one phrase looping through the static. Local overlap. Initiated. Local overlap. Confirmed. Echo match. True. I walked. Then I ran. But every corner led me back to the reel. Chairs now surrounded it. 5 of them. One had a nameplate. Technician 42. The rest were blank. Then I heard the creak of a chair behind me.
I didn't turn around. I've learned, it's always worse when you look. I didn't sit. That matters. The reel kept whispering, drawing me in. My knees buckled. My body wanted to collapse into that chair, to give in and rest. But I stepped back. 1 step, then another, and the reel stopped. Just like that, the room exhaled. The air pressure dropped sharply, like something massive had moved past me without a sound. I felt it more than heard it, a weight behind my neck, watching. When I looked again, the hallway was back, or something close to it. Wrong again. Narrower, lights dimmer, flickering unevenly like a broken breath. The concrete walls were sweating, literally dripping with cold condensation, thick and metallic smelling. My boots splashed softly as I walked. The air reeked of copper. At the corner, a new plaque had been bolted to the wall. The letters were nearly worn away. Personal alignment zone. Silence required. Below, scratched into the metal by hand. If you speak, it listens.
If it listens, it finds you. I didn't dare make a sound. I moved forward slowly, each breath measured, held. At the end of the corridor, a red door. The only color I'd seen in this entire place. No handle, just a fingerprint scanner and a microphone. A small screen above flickered from white to green, then settled on pulsing white. It displayed one phrase, "Speak to confirm." I froze. This was the trap. It needed my voice. I turned. The hallway was gone. I was boxed in. Steel walls, no seams, no door behind me. Then, through a speaker embedded in the wall, a voice said, "You've already said it." My voice, playback perfect. The screen blinked. Access granted. The red door slid open. Inside, darkness, pure, absolute. I stepped in. The floor lit up under my foot. A white square, then another. Each step I took lit one more. The floor was watching. The room was aware. It curved inward as I walked. A dome. Screens covered the inner walls. Each one flickered with static, then video. Footage.
My apartment. My childhood bedroom. A restroom I used the week before. All feeds were grainy, but unmistakably live. I looked up. The ceiling was a mirror. My reflection moved out of sync. I raised my hand. It followed. Late. I touched my head. It shook its head slowly and mouthed, "Stop." Then it looked toward one of the feeds. I followed its gaze. The screen showed me standing in this exact room, looking at the same feed. But behind me, in the footage, stood something. Tall, no face. Its limbs were cables, twitching. I turned in real life. Nothing there. I turned back. The figure had moved closer in the feed. Static. The feed cut. Another came on. A black corridor. Both walls lined with chairs. All were filled. Each figure slouched forward, motionless. Each wore a badge. Technician 42. One raised its head, looked straight into the camera, straight into me. It mouthed the words clearly. "You're the last one who said it out loud." My tablet buzzed. I hadn't touched it in hours.
A single unsaved file had opened on its own. A transcript filled the screen. Current subject, Technician 42. Attempts, 41. Echo retention, 9%. Alignment, incomplete. Recommended action, merge. A countdown began. 10, 9. I panicked. "Stop," I yelled. The room went black. Total silence. Then, glowing in the air like smoke catching light, "You said it again." The floor didn't move, but I felt like I fell, like I dropped through a memory that wasn't mine. I stood once again at the entrance to Sector L, but the gate was twisted. The structure decayed like it had been abandoned for 50 years. My truck sat where I left it, but the license plate was blank. The windows were fogged from the inside. I opened the door. On the seat, a tape recorder. I pressed play. My voice came through. "Your version 42. I made it to 43. Don't ask how. Just don't say your name again." Static. Then another voice followed. Not mine. Not a human. Metal forced into speech. "Return to the chair. Seat 5. Do not delay. Do not record. Do not leave." I ran, or tried, but the world was wrong. The trees around me were frozen in mid-motion, leaves stuck mid-fall. Birds hovered mid-flight,
like a paused video. My feet moved, but I didn't get anywhere. I screamed, but no sound came. The sky dimmed, then shifted, gray, then green, then static. I blinked. I was back in Sector L, in the hallway. The reel spun again in the center. This time, every chair was full. The reel no longer whispered. It screamed. Layered voices, overlapping in reverse. Unintelligible, but agonized. One chair turned slowly. The man sitting in it was me. Older, pale, broken. He stared at me and spoke softly. There is no Sector L, just the space between loops. I dropped to my knees. The lights went out, then flickered back on. All the chairs were empty, except for one. Seat 5. On it, my badge. A printed message. You are now within the archive. Congratulations on completing vocal calibration. I backed away slowly.
But the hallway was collapsing, literally folding inward. The walls pushed together like breathing lungs about to exhale for the last time. I turned. The red door slammed shut behind me. The archive didn't just want me. It needed me. I had already said my name. Twice. I tried to find the hallway I came in through, but it was gone. Not just hidden, erased. In its place stood a corridor of seamless white. Sterile walls stretching endlessly ahead. No shadows. No sounds. Except a low, rhythmic hum that pulsed like slow breathing. My boots made no sound. My heartbeat was the only thing I could hear, pounding too loudly in my ears. I walked. I don't know how long. Minutes. Maybe hours. No doors. No corners. Just the hum. And the steady illusion of forward motion. Then I saw it. My shadow. Not behind me. Not beside me. Ahead. Cast against the wall. But I wasn't casting it. It moved before I did. Tilted its head. Lifted an arm. Like a lagging reflection out of sync. I blinked. And it vanished.
I looked down. My boots were different, newer, shinier, too clean. I bent to touch them, and that's when I saw my hands. They weren't mine. The fingers were longer. The scar on my right knuckle was gone. A ring now sat on my finger, one I'd never worn. I tried to pull it off. My skin twitched away from my own touch. I whispered my name. The ceiling whispered it back. Not in my voice, in something excited, something learning. I ran. I didn't know where I was running to, only that standing still felt like surrender. The walls began to pulse. Faint lines of circuitry lit up beneath the surface, glowing with each heartbeat. The hum grew louder, faster, higher pitched. The hallway was tuning itself to me, or I was being tuned to it. I turned a corner that hadn't existed seconds before. At the end stood a hatch. Metal, rusted, no markings, no handle. Just a hole where a scanner might have once been. A plaque flickered above. Echo match pending.
Then another message. Merge delayed. Incomplete acceptance. Then, voice required. Aligned to core. I stepped back. The floor beneath my boots wasn't solid. It felt responsive. Like something alive just beneath the metal skin. Then I heard it. My voice, behind me, saying something I hadn't even thought yet. I didn't know which version I was. I turned. A figure stood in the hallway. Same uniform, same badge, same face. My face. But wrong. Too perfect, too still. Like someone trying to remember what I looked like while dreaming. It didn't speak, just stared. I blinked. It blinked after me. I stepped forward. It didn't move, but the hallway seemed to lean toward it, bending, like gravity had shifted. I said, "Who are you?" It mouthed the same words, reversed, silently. Then its mouth opened wider, too wide, far beyond human anatomy. And though no sound came, I felt a scream shake my teeth in their sockets. I dropped. The world flickered like a broken projection.
Then I was seated again. Chair 5. I didn't remember sitting. The reel was in front of me, spinning, but now it was projecting images, memories, except they weren't mine. Not all of them. A house I never lived in. Faces I didn't recognize smiling at me like family. A badge I handed to someone I didn't remember. One reel showed me climbing out of a hatch I never entered. Another showed me strapped into the chair, mouth open in mid-scream. Then one froze. It zoomed in on my face. Present day. Real. The timestamp read, now. The reel whispered, this is the anchor. The room went black. If this story stays with you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe, share it with someone who listens late at night, and leave a comment with your name before something else decides to remember it for you.